Hello and welcome back to the Ghiotto career mode. Today we'll be doing the Russian Grand Prix and an invitational event.
Hi. Can I have a quick word? Listen, I don't think the car is hitting its performance targets right now. We really do have to find a lot of improvement. Take a look at the report and we'll talk about it later, okay?
So here you can take a look at the upgrade comparison. But now we're going to cut into practice and we are going to be changing all 6 of our engine components. And also, we are going to be changing our gearbox as well. So that means we'll have a completely fresh engine.
Hi, it's Emma. Your qualifying goals came up in the board meeting this morning. Here's what to expect.
So our goals for qualifying is to qualify in 7th position and to beat our teammate as well. And we cut on to the end of our lap in Q1. We go across the line to take provisional P3 and that will take us safely through into Q2. So cutting on to our lap in Q2, it puts us into provisional P4 and it takes us into Q3. So cutting on to our first lap in Q3, we're going to be the first to cross the line. So we go into first position, but we're going to go round for another lap and still no one else has set a time. And we set a time that's almost a second quicker than our lap in Q2, but unfortunately it's only enough for 8th position on the grid. And just before we get into the race, we have finally saved up enough resource points to get the next upgrade, which is a weight reduction to the rear floor under tray.
Hi, it's Emma here. Just wanted to let you know what the team are hoping for in the race.
So in the race we are expected to finish in 7th position or higher, to beat our teammate, and in the championship to stay above 7th position.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Kimi Raikkonen's perfect lap yesterday sees him start from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel and Massa, Ricciardo, Grosjean, Perez and Kevin Magnussen, Ocon, Sainz, Williams and Kvyat, Palmer, Hulkenberg, Fernando Alonso and Stoffel Van Dorn, Ericsson and Pascal Wehrlein completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, be wary of the cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
So before the race, let's take a quick look at our strategy. We're going to be starting on ultra softs and going on a one-stop strategy and onto the super soft tyres at the end of the race. So as the lights start to come on, it is time for the Russian Grand Prix, and it's up to 5 red lights and away we go. And it looks like we've had a bit of a twitchy start there, almost going onto the grass. We've lost a bit of ground to the Toro Rosso of Sainz, and the Toro Rosso of Kvyat has overtaken us, and we are down into 14th position as we head down into the braking zone for turn 2. And we're going to try and go round the outside maybe of the 2 Toro Rosso drivers, and we're able to re-overtake Kvyat, but we're not able to overtake Sainz as we have to stick behind him at the moment. But can we go around the outside of the Toro Rosso driver? Yes we can, and we also look trying to overtake Grosjean and also Esteban Ocon as well, and we are now up into P10. And now cutting on later into the lap, we're in the slipstream of Sergio Perez as Vettel and Magnussen are also side by side. It is 3 wide and Perez has made a double overtake, has he? I think he has, as we pounce on Sebastian Vettel, but Perez has not made the move on Magnussen as he is in 7th position, and we try and go up the inside of Perez into the chicane, but we are not able to make the move. So we are up into P9 now with Sebastian Vettel in P10, but we cut on to lap 2 and we go up the inside of Sergio Perez into the right hander, and we are up into P8 now, and we are going to cut on to lap 3 and we are in the slipstream and the DRS of Felipe Massa, our teammate, and we go up the inside into the right hander. Can we make the move stick? He is still side by side going into the left hander, and we have held it around the outside, and we are now up into P7 in this race, but we cut on to lap 5 and we dive up the inside of Kevin Magnussen into the right hander, and we are now up into P6, but we now cut on to lap 10 and it is time for us to come into the pits for our first and hopefully only pit stop that we have to make this race, as we slow it down in time to keep to the speed limit. And will this be a good pit stop for the Williams pit crew? Let's find out as we change onto the super soft tyres, and no hold ups there, and that is a decent stop from the Williams crew yet again. But where are we going to come out into the traffic as we deactivate the pit limiter? And we are in P13 for the moment, and yes, we have come out in P13 behind Max Verstappen, so hopefully we can try and catch up to the 3 cars ahead in the next lap when we cut on to lap 12, and we have got the DRS on Max Verstappen. We go off to the right, up the inside into turn 2, and we have made the move, and up into P9 we are now, but we cut on to lap 14 and we've got the DRS on Daniel Ricciardo as he's been held up by Lewis Hamilton, who might have an issue as he locks up going into the right hander, but going into the left hander we make slight contact with the Red Bull of Ricciardo, and there is ever so slight damage to our front wing. That won't help us, but hopefully it won't hinder us too much in the rest of this race. But we have lost a bit of ground as Hamilton goes into the pits now, so now we cut on to lap 15 and we are under pressure from Max Verstappen as he goes round the outside of us, as he was much later on the brakes, and that was a very good move from the Dutchman. But we cut to lap 17 and we're under pressure from Sebastian Vettel now as he goes up the inside, and he has made the move, but can we make the move back at him into the long left-hander? We are up the inside and I think we have re-overtaken the Ferrari driver as we go into turn 4, and we are back up into P6 now, but we cut on to lap 18 and we're under pressure from Sebastian once again as he locks up and he slightly touches our wheel as he tries to go around the outside, but he wasn't able to go around the outside at that point. But we cut to lap 20 now and again we're under pressure from Sebastian Vettel. He chooses to go around the outside of us for this corner and we're able to brake a bit later and we're able to keep the position once again. And now we cut on to lap 22 and again we're under pressure from Sebastian Vettel. He's going to go to the inside this time. We cut across slightly to try and defend. We try to make the switchback move, but he has made that move stick, I think. But we're going to try and re-overtake Sebastian once again. We are side by side round turn 3 and he is able to hold up the inside of turn 4 as he had the inside line there. So that's finally Sebastian Vettel ahead of us, but Kimi Raikkonen is out of this race and the virtual safety car has been deployed. So let's take a look at what happened. I think that is a mechanical failure for the Ferrari driver and he is out of this Russian Grand Prix. But we're going to cut onto lap 27 and the last lap of the race and the checkered flag, and we have finished in P5 starting from P13 on the grid.
Brilliant stuff from Mercedes today. That's another historic win. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy and to stay out of trouble.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
So there is the race result on screen now, but we are now going to go on to the invitational event, which we had the chance to do a time attack challenge in the 1991 McLaren car.
Welcome to today's invitational event, where some of the world's finest drivers will be treating us to a special exhibition of some of the sport's most iconic cars.
So the challenge for us is to complete 3 laps of the Austria circuit in under 3 minutes and 52 seconds. So without further ado, let's get into the challenge. So we start on the first lap, and the timer is on the top of the screen, counting down. So our aim is to try and beat that time, and we're going to cut on later to the lap where we're going to look to try and overtake the Williams car, and we have successfully done that. And a wee bit of banging of wheels there, but nothing too much. But we cut on to the third lap, and we just go up the inside of the Williams car again, and that is a successful move in this car. And this car is noticeably less downforce than the 2017 cars. As we go down into the right hander, can we possibly make a move on the Ferrari car? And yes, we have made the move on the Ferrari car, but the clock is ticking down, only 10 seconds left. And can we beat the time? I'm not sure we are going to. It's going to be very close. We have 3 seconds, 2, 1, and we have not managed to complete the task by just about a second there. So we have failed this challenge, and that has been this invitational event, which we have failed the objective for. But if you have enjoyed this episode of the Look at Ghiotto career mode, do leave a like, share the video around, and subscribe to the channel for more videos on F1 2017. So I'll see you next time for another video, and goodbye.